Hello guys, my name is Salma. I'm a professional makeup artist based in Abuja. This is my first time here, my first YouTube video, and if you want to see how I created this look step by step, please keep watching. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, give me a thumbs up if you like the video and share. Let's get into it. So first, I start by grooming the client's brows just in case her brows are bushy. As you can see on this model, her brows are really bushy because she's hairy. So I'm just trimming off the brows and getting them in place ready for the outline. You want to make sure you brush up, you brush down to see the excess hairs you're trying to remove, and be careful so you do not cut your client's skin. So after grooming the brows, I soaked my wipes with micellar water from Cosmetics, or you can use any micellar water you have, and I'm just cleaning off her face. So I'm just cleaning off her face, getting into the corners to remove any residue of makeup she had the previous day, or just any other impurities on the face. You want to have a clean canvas so your makeup can sink into the skin properly. So next up, I'm using this Cosmetics moisture potion. It's a moisturizer and it also doubles as a primer. I'm just putting that all over the face, focusing under her eye. Under the eye needs moisture because no other product is going there. So I'm just massaging the product into her skin and blending it all over the face. Just took a brush and I'm still blending the moisturizer all over her face. Everything has to sink into her skin for you to get that flawless skin work and flawless finish. So next up, I'll be going in with my Becca primer just on her T-zone. So I'm applying a pea size because this primer is very matte and may dry out the client's skin if the client doesn't have a very oily skin. She just gets oily on her T-zone, but the rest of her face is normal. I'm just blending in the Becca primer with my fingers so everything blends well into the skin. After that, I'm going to be moisturizing her lips with the Vaseline lip balm so her lips remain moisturized throughout the makeup before we get to the lips. So now, starting with the brows, I'm just taming the brows with a brow tamer. I do this to keep the brow hairs in shape so they don't move and so I see where to outline clearly. After taming the brows, I go in with my setting powder to mattify the brows, take out any shine. I don't want my brows looking oily and I don't want my brows to move. After setting, the brows are ready to be outlined. So I'm outlining my brows with the Bells Beauty brow pencil, and I'm just following a straight line and light strokes to give me that natural brows. And yeah, that's about that. So you'd be seeing me outlining the brows from start to finish. I'm just pulling up her brows for more precision. I'm starting to outline the top of her brows from not the very beginning of the brows, if that makes sense. But yeah, this helps my brows look natural and helps my brows not to look boxed and so rigid. I'm just noticing I do not have the complete video of defining the brows, but if you guys want, I'll definitely drop a brow tutorial. So next thing, after the brows, I'm going in with my foundation and I'm using Huda Beauty 2 shades and then the Maybelline Urban Dream Cover. I don't know the shade, but I'll check and put it in the description box. So I matched her face, I shade matched, and we're good to go. I'm just applying it with my brush and I'll use my beauty blender to blend all the foundation into the skin. I'm blending my foundation using a damp beauty blender, not a dry one and not a wet one either. You have to damp your beauty blender for it to blend your cream products well into the skin. So I'm just blending everything all over. I would apply everything all over her face. I would apply the foundation on her. Sorry, I keep saying everything. I'll apply the foundation all over the face with my brush and then blend in with my beauty blender, as you can see. Next up is the highlighting process, and I am using these 3 different brands of concealer. I hardly use one brand of concealer or foundation because I believe it gives me a unique consistency. I may not like a particular brand's consistency, but then when I mix, I get what I want. So I applied it under her eyes, on her T-zone, and I'm just blending everything in with a light hand. You don't want to go hard when blending your concealer or even foundation, because when you go hard, your beauty blender takes away the product. So I'm just applying cream blush on her cheeks, and I'm going to be blending it out with the same beauty blender I used to blend everything out, just a different side of the beauty blender. So I'm doing that now, and I'm blending upwards to give her face a lift. I'm using my Juvia's Place Zulu palette to set the blush, and I'm using those shades I showed, and I'm just blending it upwards. I set her whole face with setting powder. I set the highlights and then I did the contour, but I lost the footage. Like, my phone wasn't recording and I did not know. So we are just here setting the whole face again, baking and applying excess setting powder so that any eyeshadow I apply, the setting powder will catch the fallout. So I'm just blending in eyeshadow primer. I used the Benign Clown White and prepping the eyes. So for the eyes, I'm going in with the Zulu eyeshadow and the Warrior 2 from Juvia's Place, and I'm just blending it into her eyes as a base for whatever eyeshadow look I'm going to create. I figured I was using a pigment. I was going to use a pigment, so I'm just blending the browns, like I'm creating a smoky brown eyeshadow as a base for my pigment, and I'm just blending that brown all over her eyelid. After applying my brown base, I just took another fluffy brush and I'm blending out the outer corners or the edges of the eyeshadow, so everything becomes seamless with other shades, with other transition shades I want. So yeah, I'm just doing that and I'm blending everything out. So I took a light powder and I'm just setting her eyebrows using the e.l.f. glitter primer for the pigment, and I'm using my hand to pat it all over the eyelid where I want the pigment to be. I'm using this diamond pigment from Elsa's Pro, and I'm applying it all over the lid with a fluffy brush. I'm tapping on the pigments, I'm not sweeping it over, and honestly there was minimal fallouts, and I'm just doing the same on the other eyelid. Next, I'm going in with my mascara for her eyelashes before I apply the false eyelashes, and this is from Beauty Line by Didi. It's a new release and the first impression is really good. I recommend rather. So yeah, if you want to get it, it's a good buy. Next, I'm going in with one of the lashes from the Cosmetics Hooked collection. I've already applied my glue and it's already tacky, so I'm just going to place that right above her natural lashes, and the glue was already tacky, so that's why it just stuck on like that, and I'm just adjusting everywhere, making sure that it stays put and doesn't move. So next I'm lining her waterline with the Zaron black gel liner. I'm just pulling down her eyes, and I asked her to look up so I don't poke her eyes or she doesn't get really teary. So I'm just dusting off all the setting powder, all the excess setting powder I applied for the eyeshadow and any other place I applied setting powder on. I'm blending out the reverse contour but with her powder shade. So I'm just tapping her face powder with my brush and then using it to dust off the setting powder. So here I'm contouring her nose with a slightly darker shade of powder. I don't want my nose contour to give me too dark lines, so I'm just blending as I apply from the beginning of her brows to the bridge of her nose and to the end of her nose to give her that slim nose look illusion. I'm applying setting powder to the sides of the contour. This helps to define the contour more, and then it fades out any dark shades of contour. So next I'm going to be highlighting her face with the cream blush, but it's a highlighter from TM Essentials and I love it because it gives me that glass glow. So I'm just using a beauty blender to apply that. It's a cream product. I'm doing that on the high points of her cheek, that's her cheekbone, and then I'm going to be doing that on her chin and her forehead as well as her nose. Everywhere I want to be highlighted, I am going to do that with this highlighter. It gives that healthy glow. I'm sure you can already see it. So here I'm just dusting off the setting powder I used to define the nose more, and that's it. Next I'm going in with my Fenty Beauty highlighter. This highlighter has become a staple in my kit. As you can see, I am using the same beauty blender and applying it on the previous highlighter I used. It's not too harsh, it gives that healthy glow as well. So I want my highlighter subtle but glowy, and this is what this highlighter is giving. So I'm just going to highlight her brow bone with a loose highlighter. Her gele was tied, and here we are now on the lips. I'm using a Nuban Beauty lipstick, the brown shade. I'll check for the shade name and include it in my description box. I'm just using a brush to outline the lips, and yes, I'll be outlining and then blending with a fluffy brush. So I'm still outlining her lips with the brown lipstick using a brush. I'm applying the second shade, which is like an orangey, burnt orange shade above on the brown lipstick, not like everywhere on the brown, but yeah, as you can see, I'm just applying it, and I will use a fluffy brush to blend everything in. I'm just adding a pink shade from my iMagic lipstick palette, a very light pink shade at the center of her lips to give me what I want, and will be good to go in some minutes. I'm just asking her to smack her lips so to aid good blending. So I'm just blending the outer corners with my fluffy brush, and we'll have the lips done in a few seconds. I wanted a lighter ombre, so I'm just applying a white lipstick, but just very little at the very center of her lips, and I asked her to smack, and I'm blending it out so it doesn't come out white. So next I'm just creating a wing with my Marbrook liquid liner. The lips is done and the eyes are winged. So next up, I'm going to be smoking her under eye with a dark brown shade. One of the shades I used as a base for her eye pigment. So I told her to look up, and I'm using a precise brush. Next up, I'm going to be finishing up with this OA Cosmetics fixing spray. If you want a dewy glowy finish, this spray should be your best friend. This is the finished look. Everything is looking great. Brows are slayed, eyes are snatched, lips popping. She is glowing, giving that glassy and healthy glow. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, comment what you want to see next, and I'll be sure to deliver. Thank you so much. Bye.